right now. We will still continue with our last presentation, and I need to get it right. Our next speaker is Tania Alemany Sanchez de Leon, who is the Deputy Director General for Innovation Policy and Digital Economy at the Federal Ministry for Economic Affairs and Climate in Germany. And while the topic is very suitable as a continuation from this panel, as we're continuing on the topic of driving transformation, the European data strategy, and Gaia-X. Please welcome.
Hi, and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for giving me the chance to speak a couple of words here from the German aspect here on Gaia-X Summit. The last 2 days, I think, have made it very clear that Gaia-X has a lot to offer, and that it has been already a great achievement the last couple of years. As German Federal Minister Robert Habeck yesterday said, if we in Europe remain to globally be competitive, what we will need more than ever is digital sovereignty. Data ecosystems and data spaces are a crucial basis for that. Gaia-X has been the driving momentum in turning this into a reality. It has created ways for us to share data securely and on the basis of trust. We talked a lot about trust today. It has also enabled us to move away from clouds, whose use has restricted our data sovereignty. Promotion data sharing is also a key element of the European data strategy. Data drives innovation and the development of new products and services, while also contributed to the implementation of the European Green Deal and the digital transformation. And European companies are indeed already collecting a great deal of data, but a large part of this data, actually 80% of European industrial data, has not yet been put to use. We need to open this veritable treasure chest of data, and the EU Data Act can help with that. With this act, the European Union created a Europe-wide cross-sector framework that serves the goal of breaking down data silos, opening up these treasure troves of unused data and promoting innovation. Raw data generated from the use of devices and services has thus far usually remained within the manufacturer's network of devices. In the future, the Data Act will give users access to the data that their usage generates, and it will enable them to pass this data on to third parties. Manufacturers and developers alike must adhere to the principle of data accessibility by design. They must create their products in such a way the data generated by users is easy to access and can be passed on by default. In the future, this will affect all connected devices, such as connected industrial machinery, smartwatches, or vehicles, and associated services, such as apps that control connected devices in a smart home setup. The data owner's IT system must also be interoperable and support switching between different cloud platforms so that its users are not limited to individual providers of data processing services. The Gaia-X taps into a significant potential for innovation and will allow new business models to emerge as users are able to access the data they have generated and pass this on to third parties. Federated data spaces are an efficient, secure solution to make sharing data easier. These spaces allow a data owner or a manufacturer of connected device to share data in a secure manner and in a controlled manner, such as on the basis of a contract, for example, made with the user of a connected device. With its trust framework, Gaia-X offers standards and functions that create the necessary transparency and control for all sectors. This is why the recent start of Gaia-X digital clearing houses is a very important step forward. The service component is integral for examining whether participants and services conform with the rules of the Gaia-X framework. Gaia-X has already had great success and has been widely welcomed in a short time. The idea of creating a federated data infrastructure where data can be shared in a secure and sovereign way has now gained a following. Many initiatives are now oriented around this principle and have further built on this idea. Gaia-X members have set up a wide network, including with other data-related EU projects. These are only some of the reasons why the German federal government is supporting the creation of data spaces across sectors and countries. The Federal Ministry for Economic Affairs and Climate Action is currently funding 11 Gaia-X projects. This came about due to a funding competition. Now the 3-year funding period is coming to its end and the projects are very successfully. These projects our ministry has funded are innovative examples of data-driven business models from a wide variety of sectors, such as, for example, mobility, finance, healthcare, and of course, maritime sector. Project participants develop best practices and solutions that inspire and provide practical support for the development and expansion of new business ideas in Germany and across Europe. These ideas that are data-based and geared towards companies, research institutions, and public administrations. 3 of these funded projects, namely Cooperance, Team-X, Health-X, and Eurodat, have also become registered AI-SBL Lighthouse projects. We heard about those today and yesterday. Eurodat, for example, has created a Gaia-X compliant legal and technical framework for secure data custody, which meet the requirements of both the EU Data Act and the Data Governance Act. Cooperance is driving digitalization forward in the aviation and aerospace sector, with the goal of implementing more efficient working methods and production processes across the entire life cycles of air and spacecraft in the future. This will strengthen the competitiveness of the sector in Germany and of course in Europe. The partner projects of Team-X and Health-X are working on solutions for secure and trusted data spaces in the health sector. These solutions give data owners maximum sovereignty over their health data, while also enabling data to be shared across the key sector of health. The ministry is also funding and supporting a larger scale projects that deal with industrial data spaces and data ecosystems. These include the projects Manufacturing X and Gaia-X for Future Mobility, as well as, of course, Aura, Cloud Edge Continuum, well known as IPSIS, I say German, for developing the next generation of cloud and edge technologies. In order for Gaia-X to continue to succeed, we need more than funded projects, even though these are indeed a crucial part of this success. The Gaia-X association's focus on its users will be key to its future success. This especially includes proximity to large data spaces, international standards that reflect European values and creation of value for member. By focusing on these areas, Gaia-X can strengthen and implement the performance it promises. We need this if we are to widely implement the ideas and concept of Gaia-X across the many data ecosystems in Europe. Interoperable and sovereign data usage is a currency and a source of innovation that is growing more and more important. Rules, security, and above all, trust are at the core of this. Gaia-X creates the basis we need and is already playing a formative role in the development of the data economy in Europe. Let's work together to ensure that we also achieve the goal of making Gaia-X concepts accessible to an even broader base of users. Thank you.